Whew, it's not even like cold yet, and it's still very unmotivating to do any work on the cars. Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back for another video. Thanks for joining me. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button and hit that bell so you know when we're uploading. New upload schedule. I did post the update video, so check that out for all updates coming on the channel. New upload schedule Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 3 p.m. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Today's video is kind of unplanned, but the truck, the zr2, has been making annoying ass noises. So I got to get back under this truck, basically do a bolt check, make sure everything's nice and tight, then search down another noise that's pretty weird. Let me demonstrate for you. So as you see, or as you heard, this thing's making this annoying ass noise whenever I turn the wheel. I thought it was both ways, but looking at the video, it seems to only be making that noise when I turn the wheel to the left. I don't know what the hell it is. I thought it might be something to do with the steering input shaft, because I think I sprayed WD-40 on it like a few weeks ago, and it kind of like, the sound kind of went away for a little bit, or wasn't as bad, so I'm gonna have to get under there and check everything out. But first, let's get the front wheels off. Let's check the whole front suspension, make sure everything's tight. I might actually try to tighten as much down as possible with the full weight of the truck on it, just so we know there's no movement. So I'm probably going to try to get underneath the shocks, the top of the shocks, then maybe we'll pull the wheels off. Well, that noise, I hope it's just something that needs to be greased. I'm pretty sure it started after last time we went off-roading, and we did go through the water a couple times, so maybe just like knocked some grease out of wherever. Keep your fingers crossed for me on that one. So we checked everything we could with the wheels still on, which is the bottom of the shock mounts, the sway bar, which is actually pretty loose. Maybe I need some new bushings or something for the sway bar. That could be the noise. And the top of the shock, up behind, everything's tight. So moving along. Let's crack the wheels loose, lift it up, check everything else. Reason I was going to make this video yesterday when I was thinking about it was I had some really weird like clunking noise. I think it was this uniball joint on the upper control arm, which I know can go bad, especially I live in Northeast, so like salt and all that corrosion that gets in it could destroy it, I guess. But I sprayed a bunch of WD-40 on it yesterday and the noise seems to have went away, so I guess it was the problem. And still, you could still see a puddle sitting on it. But yeah, grab a wrench. I'm gonna try to see if this wants to tighten a little bit more. Might pull the tie rod off and see if there's like play in it, because maybe the tie rods are messed up. And I also have to tighten this bolt down here, which is a 27mm. Now, well, let me be clear. I'm not sure I have to tighten it, but I'm gonna check it with the socket. We're gonna hit up the axle one more time too, just to double check, just to be sure. And I don't think that's moving, but like I said, touching all the bolts. Bolt check. I also love to check these upper control arms, but the way this suspension is designed is completely stupid, and you can't actually get a wrench in there. Can barely fit my finger through there, and the nuts in there. A little bit more space there, but doing the same thing on this side. Then we'll deal with the steering noise, I guess. When you're putting your tie rods back in, you're really not supposed to do it with an impact gun, but if you do, make sure you check the boot to make sure it's not spinning. If it starts to spin, stop that. I don't remember what size it is, but you got to grab the top, a wrench, and then you got to turn this with that. So when you grab this, it makes sure the whole tie rod, it makes sure that this doesn't spin and causes premature wear on your tie rod. So make sure you do that. So went over everything. Everything was already tight. The only thing that was somewhat loose was that 27mm that holds the bottom of the knuckle to the lower control arm. So I tightened that up more. I don't know if that's the noise, but that was somewhat loose. Not even that loose, but it was somewhat loose. One thing that I'm thinking also is that the sway bar end links are just fucked up. That there's like no real bushing anymore, and the noise is just the sway bar on like that bolt that goes through it. So that could be a thing. I don't want to take the end links off now, since I just had the car up in the air and like went over, bolt checked everything. I would rather go and drive around the block, see if the noise is still there. If the noise is still there, then take the end links off. Hopefully the noise goes away, and then that's our problem. But that also doesn't have anything to do with that crazy ass noise that we're getting when we turn the wheel. Hopefully it's just something that needs to be greased. Hopefully. Alright, so while we're out here, we're gonna bolt check a couple of the things that are the only things I've actually touched in the rear of the car, which is these U-bolts here and then the bottom of the shock. So U-bolt was from the Add-A-Leaf. Installed it, uninstalled it. I think I installed it and uninstalled it one more time after that. And the bottom of the shock for the shock mount skid. So I do have a install video on these if you want to see how any of those install. So go check those out if you're interested. I'll link them up at the top. Alright. This is a little better. Before we forget, let's torque the front ones down. Then I guess we'll take it for a little test drive. I know that squeak's not going to be gone, but hopefully some of the clunking noises are gone. If not, I'll come back, probably take out the end links for the sway bar, then go for another test drive. Gonna say it now. I don't actually think this is solving the clunking noise, but at least now I know that everything's tight for sure. Oh, still there. Let's curve over here. No, that's still there for sure. Maybe we're just gonna back in and take those end links off and then check it out. Removing the sway bars did absolutely nothing. Still making the noise. I have like two ideas of what it might be. It's either, from what I could think, it might just be like the axle moving around in the transfer case / differential, or my steering rack is completely shot. Because there's a chance the steering rack is shot too, and maybe that's the noise. I would just like to know what the noise is. I'm actually pretty annoyed with this damn truck right now. I took the skid plates off and I'm checking out to see if there's anything loose. Nothing's loose, obviously. Steering rack seems to be firmly in place. I'm just gotta see what size the bolt is. I'm just gonna try to tighten it, see maybe it just needs another turn. I doubt that's the problem, but I'm gonna do that anyway. While the skid plates are off, I guess I'll put the end links back in too, because that wasn't the problem either. But getting annoyed. There's also no space under the hood or from underneath to like really get to anything. All this steering stuff is kind of hidden behind stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is just like spray the crap out of everything with WD-40 right now. I'll just see if that squeaking noise goes away, and obviously know something needs to be greased, which is kind of what I think already. But this is just a very temporary fix right now because I'm kind of annoyed and I don't feel like dealing with this anymore. I don't even want to put everything back together, but I gotta do that. I guess I'll try to show you under the hood. It's not gonna be, actually I got a flashlight. We'll look under here. You see that little slinky looking thing? To the left, I don't know if I'm going to be able to point. You see that little slinky looking thing right there? That is the steering input shaft from the firewall. The firewall is at the top of your screen, and then that comes out going down to the rack and pinion. So good luck getting to that. Then when we get under the truck, there's your tie rod is over there, coming into the middle here. This is your rack and pinion here. I guess electronically assist, I don't know. There's a bolt here, and then there's a bolt straight up and back, 2 on each side. That's what it looks like is holding it in. Pry bar. Doesn't look like there's any extra movement than there should be. There's bushings on that, so I'm gonna find what sizes this. Try to give this one a turn, the other one, and the other 2 that are over there somewhere. But I got a wrench on them. They are already super tight. They would not budge at all. They didn't even move. So it's tight at least. Like I said, I didn't think that was gonna be a problem. All right, so now I'm just gonna spray it down with WD-40, put the skid plates back in, put the end links back on, and then go inside and cry. As you see, this is the end link. This one doesn't look that bent. The passenger side one was definitely bent, and the metal spreading a little bit. But it still holds together. As much as this truck has been annoying me lately, still love the way it looks. Look at this thing. Looks good. See you later. How could I forget? That was actually the first time testing it, also after I WD-40'd it, so I didn't even know if that was going to work. That pretty much confirms it for me that it's just something that needs to be greased, and it's something that I really don't want to do, because like I tried to show you guys, it's pretty hard to get to, and I'm not about to go dropping the rack and pinion if I don't have to. So there's that. Maybe I'll just continue WD-40ing it here and there. I'm glad at least one thing's fixed. That freaking noise won't go away, but I don't know what to do about that. The noise really only happens when the suspension drops. So I guess how I would explain it would be like going specifically out of like a driveway or like off a curb. When the suspension drops, then it makes the noise. So I don't know what the hell that is. It doesn't really make it just driving, and if you hit a bump like that, it doesn't make the noise, only if it drops out. I did have a problem with the bushings on the upper control arm a while back, and Peak Suspension sent me new ones to replace. Apparently you can't grease those up with the bolts torqued down because it stretches the bushing, the little red, I guess it's urethane or whatever. And as you saw earlier, the design of the suspension is horrible for greasing those things. So you really have to drop the shocks out of the car just to loosen those bolts up to take them out to grease them. Last time when I was doing the CV boot, if you don't know how to change the CV boot on the truck, I'll link that video too. I did basically a how-to on that. I did grab the arm and tried to shake it, and it didn't have any movement like it did the first time, so I'm pretty sure it's not that again. If any of you guys have the same problem and you figured out what the hell it was, please let me know down below. Leave the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button for more content. You got more videos coming for you. Got a couple of things to do on the 240. 190E, we have a body kit that I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna start installing the rest of the body kit now that I have a little bit more time for videos. Only reason I didn't start that is because I wanted to deal with this damn noise on the truck, since the truck we actually drive, and my wife has to take it this weekend upstate, so trying to figure out what that problem is. If you had the same problem and you figured it out, let me know down below, please, or hit me up on Instagram. If you've been subscribed for a little while, I did change my Instagram name, so go follow me if you're not already, and don't unfollow me if you see this name. There's that. I'll see you guys on the next one. Upload schedule Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 3 p.m. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.